So I want you guys to imagine that we did something, you know, the cube-like objects, right? Actually, maybe let me draw one from the bottom. So I've got like a Rubik's Cube-like shape. Now, imagine if we had an object that looks something like this. And imagine if I kept going with this, and eventually you ended up with that. Okay? Now, imagine putting a light on it and having to figure the shadows out. And what would happen is you would have things happen like, let's say you have a light coming from the side over here. You would get stuff going on like this. People would be able to figure out, oh, that's in shadow. You know, this is in shadow. Things like that. But then you'd also get stuff going on like this. You see what I mean? There'd be some additional complications. You'd have stuff going on like that. Well, probably not like that, probably more like this. So, my point is, it would start getting a little bit weird. You'd have to start going, okay, wait a second. What's going on? So I want to talk, your homework assignment is going to be, I'd like you to take 10 of the cube-like objects, any 10 you like. And, you know, let's do it this way. Let's do 10 as 5 sets of 2. So sketch them in pairs, put a single light, and give me the shadows that result. So if you imagine 2 of the cube-like objects in a room together, we put a light on, boom. Okay, do that 5 times, 5 pairs.
Do they make the shadows up onto each other?
You can, well, no, well, you've got a single light source, so they can go anywhere they want. They can go across each other. You know, some of them you can guesstimate what's going to happen, but some of them you won't be able to. You can put the light sources anywhere you want. We're going to do these very crude with graphite on like marker paper, just scribbling. These aren't going to be tightly rendered. But I need to show you some mechanics that are going to come into play as you go to do this. Yeah. Yes.
What if
You could, yeah, that's totally fine. I don't care how you do it. What I want you to do is I want you to have to work through some slight, I want you to basically playfully sketch your way in. Here's the thing. I don't want to invest the time in rendering these things. There's no point. That's not the point. The point is I want you to invest some time in chewing on some more complex lighting problems. Something that's a little harder than a cube, but a little easier than a head or a spaceship. See what I mean? Yeah.
Do you want us to do it like that casual or more like the freehand mechanical sketching?
I would say, remember when I did that little demo with the light studies, where I had you guys do the little light studies of the cube? Like what kind of thing you wanted, and I'm gonna do a very crude version here, but it'll remind you guys, like, remember how I had you guys do little studies like that and then say, oh, okay, well, this edge would be kind of dark, so I'm gonna make it a little, you know, a little darker. That, there's my occlusion shadow. So I might start off with that, but then I'd say, okay, well, this is gonna be a little bit darker, this is gonna go dark, down to light, this is gonna be a little bit darker. And then I would have things like, okay, well, the lighting angle's coming in like this, so this wall's gonna be a little brighter than this wall, so I'd have like it going like this, and then getting a tiny bit darker. You know, I'd have you guys kind of sketching like we did those ones, where I want you to be thinking about the lighting, thinking about the speed of the gradation, the angle of the gradation. Yeah.
Do you want them in the size that we do like a render on?
I'd like you to use the 11 by 14 marker pad, maybe draw a 1-inch border, and then use the spaces you need to. You're not gonna wanna draw too small on these, because if you do, you're gonna have a hard time working out the shadow patterns. Some of the shadow patterns are gonna get odd on you. You know, yeah.
You want them in the room as well?
Yeah, I would put a basic corner back there, just so you have surfaces to deal with. Now, you guys, I would guess that each one of these would probably take 30 to 40 minutes to do. So if you have 5 of them to do, that's about, you know, what, about 4 hours worth of homework. 4 to 5 hours, I would guess. You know, if you're doing them well. Now, I need to show you some additional technical things that you'll need to know, but any other questions? Joe, do you have a question?
Yeah, was that one pair each on one page?
Yeah, 1 pair to a page.
Okay.
And 5 pages. So you guys, again, the point of this exercise is not really beautiful drawings. The point of the exercise is chew your way through some different problems and see if you understand them conceptually. You know what I would almost compare it to? Alex Garcia, when he teaches his physics class, will sometimes give people problems like this. Like he'll take one of he's got a really nice one where he's got a hollow cylinder. Like imagine imagine like a thing of toilet tissue. Okay? And he puts a string around, he wraps a string around it, and then he pulls the string this way. So here's the thing, it's got a string wrapped around it, it's a cylinder, it's on a level surface. He pulls the string this way. Which way is the cylinder gonna roll? Is it gonna roll this way, or is it gonna roll this way?
Wouldn't that depend on how hard he pulls the string?
No, it doesn't. And it has to do with the physics of action and reaction. And it's very counterintuitive. When you see it, you kind of go,
Would it stay still?
you know. So anyway, in the same way that the point of that problem is not, to turn you into a scientific genius. The point of that problem is making you think your way through some of the ramifications. Okay? This is the exact same kind of project. I want you guys to think your way through more complex lighting. It really isn't about getting it right or wrong. It's about trying it and seeing what happens. You will talk about what's right and wrong, and you may encounter some things where you're not sure, and you may bring in some questions. But really is to get some more practice doing slightly more complex lighting. Okay?
So you said, just be group product, but like you still want us to like do radiation.
I still would like you to have a radiation point, some crude sketched mechanical stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, so basically make it mechanical, but just sketch it out. You don't have to use your mechanical drawing tools, okay? Now, let me talk you through some additional things that will cause you problems as you go to do this. You know, some things that will be specific to these diagrams. All right. Was that your camera?
Yes.
Ouch. Okay, so here's one of the first things.